Breathe new life into old photos with black and white magic is our topic today on Luminar Coffee Break. Let's see what we can accomplish in 10 minutes or less, starting now. Hello, everyone, and welcome. All right, so this topic today is near and dear to my heart because I'm going to be using my parents' photos when they were married in 1949. Now, I am going to tell you, I scanned these photos on a very cheap, all-in-one printer, scanner, fax machine that my father had many years ago. When I go to New York, I promised my sister I would rescan these again, but wait till you see the quality, all right? So here's my family photos. I'm going to use these, what is it, 8, 9, these 9. And I'm going to start with this one right here. The only thing I did up to this point was I cropped them and got rid of the horrible borders that I left, all right? So the first thing I want to do is I want to convert this into that black and white magic that I talked about. Then we're going to apply them to all the images. So let me do this a little before and after for you. So this is a little before and after. Here's the image we're going to work on. That's what we're going to do to it, all right? So let me jump over here and let me show you what I did to it, all right? Now, first thing I want to do is convert it to black and white. We have two options here. I could either come over here to the black and white tool, which does a good job, right? And then tweak it within here to get what I'm going for. Or what I opted for, which I'll make sure you guys get, is the mood tool. So I went to creative, and I'll make sure you get the LUTs that I used for this. So I created a custom LUTs for black and white. And let me show you here. I'm going to add it. Well, where did I store it? So once I created it, and I did use a special, very expensive program to create the LUTs, which really you don't need to do, but I'm going to go to photography, and under photography, I have assets. Under assets, here's that LUTs lookup table. So that's what the mood tool uses to create what we're looking for. Now, these are the different black and whites here. I did create it. Let's see. It was, I know I put it as 1949. And if I can't find it here, which I should, let me just do a search. I know I did 1949. Okay. Oh, you know what? It's under the D drive. That's why. So when I travel, there we go. Here's LUTs. There it is, 1949, convert to black and white. All right, so I created two of them. I made one with a little bluish tint, and this is the one we're going to be dealing with. So again, a LUTs is a lookup table, and I'm going to apply this to the scene, and when it comes in at like 30%. Well, I want to crank that all the way up to 100. Now here's where the magic starts to kick in, all right? I'm going to increase the contrast. Ooh, look what that's doing already. Look at that. And then you could adjust the saturation, because remember, this is what we're dealing with. So that saturation is not dealing with the black and white. It's dealing with that kind of ugly tonish, gray tonish image. So do I want it brighter or darker? Well, I want it a little bit darker here. And now that I have it. Now, by the way, if I click here, that little information icon, right there, the preview, it's going to tell you the mood tool uses professional lookup tables, LUTs, to change your photo's appearance. If you want to dive deeper into this, click the Learn More, and then it'll take you to the website on our user manual. All right? So right now, as you can look under Edits, there's our mood tool. And this doesn't matter because I didn't do any settings, so I'll just delete that for now. So there's our mood tool. Now, what's really going to help me on this is I have the mood tool down. That looks great. But I do want to come over here to my Develop tool and the highlights. I want to bring those way down. Oh, look what it's doing to my mother's dress. And I do want to bump up Smart Contrast. And we can play with the shadows a little bit. I want a little bit richer. But here is what's going to help me tremendously, toning it. So here's the black tone. Oh, look what that's doing. Now here's the white tone. I have a decision to make. I know I don't want to go to a positive value, which is going to blow it out. But I'm going to come in here and just dial it back a bit. And look at the change that made for us. Well, that's looking good. All right, so I just used 2 tools so far. Now I'm going to add a little structure to this. Because Structure AI is human aware, it's not going to mess with my parents' skin. All right, it's going to recognize the humans of the scene, so it's going to add structure to everything but my parents. Look at that. All right, now here's the next one that's really going to help us, and that's super contrast. So up to this point, here's before and after. Now I really want to get deep into contrasting the colors. So I'm going to start out and I want to get rid of these highlights. Look at that. And then the mid-tone. Good. So I'm trying to bring back more of the texture of the dress. And of course, here's where I can play with the shadows. Oh, there we go. Good. So let's see if it makes a difference. Before, after, I'm really concerned about the dress. And I just want to get that looking pretty good. There we go. And we're set. All right, so there we have it. We went from this to this. Well, we're not done yet. So these are the tools I used. Order of operation, the beginning part, mood, you have to do that first. So black and white or the mood tool has to come first. Then it's up to you if you want to develop first, structure, super contrast. Either way, it doesn't matter. But that mood tool had to go first. Otherwise, the other tools wouldn't give us the effect that we're looking at. All right? So now that I have this set, and I'm happy with what I got, action, save it as a preset. Now, I've already saved it. I'm going to save it again. Let's call this 1949 black and white version 3, which later I'm going to erase. So I love my version 2. All right, so we have that set. Well, that's great. Now, watch what we're going to do. Control or Command A. I'm going to select all of the images. Now, from here, since this is already selected, you see it with the blue border, I can just right-click anywhere, Adjustment, Synchronize Adjustments, or Control or Command Shift S. Now, boom, look at that. All of them add the same look and feel. Awesome. Now, I'm going to double-click on this one right here. Now is where quality control comes in. All right, so look, it did a phenomenal job. Now, watch this. I did this in Photoshop years ago, and it took so long, and I think I even did it in Luminar AI, where I copied parts of this side of the steps to fix this here. Watch what we're going to do. We're going to use Gen Swap. All right, so I'm going to come in with Gen Swap. And we'll come in here like this. And I'm going to swap it. Now, I did this several times. What it's going to do right now is it's going to analyze the image. And with a Gen Swap, since I didn't type in any generative prompts, I just slid it over, copied it. I'm letting it figure out that, hey, look at that. I want you to take from this to this. Now, this is the first time that's happened. So what I'm going to do is undo it. I'm glad I did that during a live one. I did this in rehearsal, God knows how many times, never had that. So obviously what I did was I went up too high because then it grabbed this area here. So let's keep it right to there. and let's hit swap. All right. So, and that's part of the learning process with the generative techniques is we're still all learning. The process is still new. When I did this in rehearsal, not a problem. I was so excited. I showed it to my Skylum team. They were impressed with it. But as you saw right there, it was a little unpredicted. Okay, and look what it's doing. So what I'm going to do is reset and then copy right over that again. And let's see what that does. So if you don't like the results, either undo it or apply the results and then go back over it again and adjust it. So let's see what that does here. If it doesn't do what I want, well, it did. Perfect. So let's look at it. Before, after. So I didn't plan that, by the way. So I'm glad that it didn't do what I wanted to do in the very beginning, because then it can show you that if it doesn't give you the results you want, here are a couple extra steps we could do. But I'm telling you, I did this in Photoshop and in Luminar a long time ago, and I had to painstakingly copy the right side of the steps and apply them to the left. Look how fast that was. Then once I save it, it's going to put it into our generative creation, and here it is. All right. Now let me come back down here again, and I'm going to come to another one of the images. This one right here. Oh, I love this. All right. So here's my grandparent, my grandmother on my mother's side, my father's side, Grandma Vanelli, Grandma Squadrito. Now I'm looking over here, and I'm going to put, get back up here, Gen Erase. I tried this with our traditional erase tool. It didn't do a great job. So I'm going to use Gen Erase. And here, now I shouldn't say it didn't do a great job. What I should say is I had to go over it a few times, and I guess I'm getting spoiled now because with the generative tools that we have, now we don't have to go, we have choices. And in this case here, I realize the Gen Erase stuff just does a better job. Now the difference is it does take longer than if I did the other one. Good. Reset it. Look at that, flawless. Now, I am going to come in and get rid of some of these. And it's best to do all these individually if you want the highest quality. But to save time, you know what? It's fine. Erase. Now, I even contemplated removing the fan, but honestly, that's part of the seed. That's part of a young couple getting married, didn't have a whole lot of money for the wedding. That kind of adds to the nostalgic of the image itself. So I left it in. All right. And there we have it. All right. Now, if I don't like this, reset. So all of these are over, but I am going to come in. If that doesn't give me what I want, then I'll use either traditional erase or clone and stamp. So the point I'm getting at is once we did the bulk of all the edits, so we did the bulk of it by creating a preset, that was awesome. That saved us so much time. Now we can spend more time being creative. There we go. And I'm going to save it. And here I am. So now it gives us more time to be creative, and I can take it from there. All right. So we have all this set. Let me take you down to here. And all right, so this was the one. So let me do before and after for you. Edits. I'm going to remove all my changes. There we go. So here is before and after. Here's the original. That's what we did. That's the change. Here's the original. And, oh, did I apply the, oh, you know what? I just realized something. I have all the originals in here. So I need, in order to show you the before and after, I'm going to have to come in and erase. There we go. Erase the edits to show you. But look at that. Here's before. Here's after. I'll do just one more, my favorite one. We'll do this one right here. Once again, I'll show erase all the edits. And before and after. All right. Now, keep in mind, everyone, what I just showed you here, well, it was a real easy way to take your family photos, scan them, which will be another topic for us to work on, do some really cool, create a really cool preset for it, whether it's a black and white conversion, or if you just want to make the colors pop, or you want to take that batch of images and just make them all look great in one shot. Create the preset, apply it to all the images, but you have to go back and do quality control. So really what we just did was AI freed us up from all the tedious tasks. Now we can spend more time being very creative. All right. Well, guys, if you're watching this on YouTube right now and you want to join us for the after hour or for the after Ask Me Anything segment after our coffee break, here is the link to our Zoom meeting, and this is how you would get to it. So at the end of this, and if you're watching on a rebroadcast, you're welcome to join us Monday and Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, to stick around for the Ask Me Anything segment, where you ask any questions whatsoever pertaining to this topic or any photography-related topics you have in mind. All right? So, guys, thanks so much for joining us. If you're here right now, please stick around for the Ask Me Anything segment. Everyone else, I'll see you at the next coffee break.